Hey everybody, it's Aiden here once again, and welcome back to some rFactor 2 as it's time for a mod review. And it's the first mod review I've done in a very long time for rFactor 2. I actually can't remember the last one I did. So, what we've got here is the Enduracers mod for rFactor 2. Now what this is, it's a very popular mod. It was very popular on the original rFactor as well, and it's a very, very comprehensive LMP and GT field that you can just mix and match to your own heart's desire and go for really cool endurance races in. So what this is version 2, and it's actually going to be the last complete overhaul that they will do in terms of the cars and the physics. They'll just update for features that come into rFactor 2 in the near future. So they've given us this. Since 2006, the mod has covered different eras, different categories, and they thought it was time to just finalise the mod and then just update little bits and pieces. And Enduracers are also the team that brought us the fantastic Flat 6 mod, the totally not Porsche 911 Cup mod. So they've given us here a complete graphic update. They've got some other bits and pieces that I will show you in the actual driving part. There's new physics and other bits and bobs as well. So in terms of the content, we've got two new prototypes. The Oreca 05 LMP2 replaces the Lola Coupe, and the Ligier JSP3 is all new for this mod pack, and that adds the LMP3 category. They've replaced the C6R with the Corvette C7R, and they've taken the 458 to replace the F430. The Flat 6, the totally not Porsche 911 RSR Evo, replaces the Flat 6 RSR, and they've had a bit of help from the famous URD modding team in terms of the models and other bits and pieces. So, like I said, we've got a complete physics update for all the cars. It's got Contact Patch 2 tyre technology, which is borrowed from the official Studio 397 GT pack. And we've had an update of all the car setups. And so, just reading a little bit of a warning here on the bump. Current setups are pretty much redundant now. You're going to have to tweak them to make them feel the same as they did before. And this mod isn't small. It's 3.5 gigabytes. Yeah. So, looking at the changelog here, we've got the added Oreca 05 LMP2, added Ligier JSP3 LMP3, added Corvette C7R, added Ferrari 458, added Porsche 911 RSR Evo, updated bodywork shader to DirectX 11 technology. We've got other bits and pieces, added menu icons for the cars, integration of CPM2, so that's slick and rain, about 90 degrees Celsius usage temperature for slicks, adapted from Studio 397 tyres. The inertia's been adjusted, suspension geometry adjusted, aero tweaked, brake power settings adjusted, steering ratio adjusted, anti-roll bar value adjusted, force feedback adjusted, fuel tank adjusted, tyre wear curves adjusted, default setup adjusted, AI performance adjusted, cockpit position adjusted to help people who use VR, seat front maximum position value adjusted for triple screen users, and they have removed the auto blip function from the Porsche because the real car does not have auto blip. So it's a very comprehensive mod, and like I say, I haven't named some of the graphic things because it's better to show you on the track. So looking at this model, this is the actually I don't remember this one is. I think this is the Ligier LMP2. This is actually the one I raced back in like January when I did an endurance race at Imola, and I've chosen the Patron car here because, in the words of the song, tequila makes her clothes fall off, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, we can zoom right in on this, and sorry about the bloom on this showroom, but we can see right into the cockpit here, and it all looks fantastic. There's no real blur on any of the textures. I mean, we can see. Oh, we can spin it around like it's in like Gran Turismo or something like that. That's pretty cool. But that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut, and I'll show you a couple of the GTs now. I'll probably throw up the Aston Martin or the BMW or something like that. So join me in a second, and I'll be back with a GT. And here we have the Ferrari 458. And for Ferrari, it actually looks really cool. We've got Giancarlo Bruni and Giancarlo Fisichella's car here, and all the liveries are real. We've got the 2015 Le Mans liveries, we've got the 2015 WEC liveries, we've got IMSA liveries, we've got everything. It's a huge mod, and there are filters to pick and choose which series or season you want to use. And we can see just inside the Ferrari here, if we get in a little bit closer, we can see everything. I mean, the detail is fantastic. Textures, probably not super high res, but that's actually a good thing. That improves frame rate, and the physics on this thing are great as well. And you can run huge fields on a computer that isn't the USS Enterprise. I mean, my computer isn't exactly powerful. I've got a 1050 Ti and a AMD FX 6300, and I can run 30 cars no problem in this mod. It's great. So this is the Ferrari. I'm just going to quickly flick through each of the cars. Well, I mean all of the cars because there's so many of them, but I'll show you another GT car, and then we'll actually go into some driving. I'll drive through the day and through the night, and throw in some other bits and pieces as well. So stay tuned, and I'll throw up probably the Aston Martin now. And here we have the gloriously beautiful Gulf Aston Martin car from, I think this is WEC 2015, 2012 or something like that. I can't remember. I've literally just clicked on it, but I mean, look at it. It looks great. And we can zoom in once again. Apologies for the bloom in the background. This is the FSR showroom. We can see into the cockpit and all that good stuff. The details like on the doors and the three sort of like transparent circles you can see just behind the door. They actually light up in the dark, and we'll be able to see that later on as well. Some really cool detailing on the fuel filler cap and on the Michelin tyres as well. So what I'll do here is we'll just go back and I'll show you how many cars we actually have. So Endurance Series GT6, so we've got all of the Porsches. And then we go GTE, and we've got the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, BMW M3 E92, Corvette C7R Stingray, Ferrari 458, Italia GTC, and the Porsche. This is how many Aston Martins we have. Actually, I'll just scroll down. This is how many BMWs we have. We've got a smattering of Corvettes. We've got a ton of Ferraris. And we've got a wide array of Porsches. Moving into the P2s. Yeah, you can see where all this is going. And then we've got the Ligier for the P3s, which is all really cool. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fire up a track. Maybe not Bathurst, because I don't know how the LMPs are going to handle it, but I'll probably take it to Silverstone or something like that. Something that's got the updated DX11 textures and things like that. And there's also some more updates in this video because Studio 397 has brought out a performance update, and they have launched the new head-up display. So we will be seeing that in this video as well. So it's not only updates for the Enduracers mod, but we've also got updates for the Studio 397 stuff. So we'll go to Silverstone and we'll fire it up. We'll just be us on track. We'll start with the LMP3, then we'll do the LMP2, and then we'll go into a couple of the GTs and see what they're like over the course of the day. So, let's get onto track. I've been talking long enough. Let's get on with it. So, here we are at Silverstone, and if you can hear like the outside world quite heavily in the microphone, it's because, well, it's a lovely day today. I've got the window open. There's a nice breeze coming into my sort of man cave, as it were, and I'm just enjoying a nice day in Britain for a change. So, moving on to the setup in this car. I've got 25 laps worth of fuel in this thing, which is going to be plenty enough, and we can adjust all of the gearage. I'm going to leave that as standard for now. Can't really adjust the third springs, but we've got our basic suspension stuff to go with. All of this stuff as well for the chassis, and then the advanced stuff for the tyres and all that stuff. So I'm going to leave this on basic. I'm going to put the anti-lock brakes and the traction control on for the full, LMP experience. And yeah, put that back onto kilometers an hour. And I've actually set the weather to what it is currently at Silverstone as of the recording of this video. So it is currently 19 degrees, humidity is at 63%, and the wind is at 11 miles an hour, which is what, I don't know, 18 18 kilometres or so. So, let's go for a drive. And you can also see the brand new HUD as well, which I can barely see over the top of my steering wheel. But if I just turn that off, and we can see that we've got a Cosworth steering wheel. Cosler, as it's properly said here. So, let's come out of the pit lane. It's early morning. It's actually 1:45 on a Sunday afternoon here in Walsall, but I forgot how quick these LMPs can be. Coming out of the pit lane. Not got a very good view out of the cockpit, but decent amount of power in this thing. Do a couple of time laps, see how it feels. Oops. Ah. Just trying to get used to it. Gearing not quite correct yet. Engine boost not available. Okay. Engine mixture not available. So we're basically stuck as we are in this thing, but not a problem. Nothing to fiddle with. It's just me and the car. Turning into Cop's Corner, let the car run out. Maggots and Beckett's probably not going to go as fast through here as I would in a Formula 1 car. But the car handles brilliantly for a default setup. Usually with these really good detailed mods, they give you a baseline setup and then you've got to work out what works best for you, but it's accessible, which I really like. So if you're like 16 and money is a bit of an issue, this is a great alternative to the URD stuff, because it's free. Starting to get some heat into the tyres. Oh god. I have got 6 gears, I've just not got the thing set how I'd want it. And I think I'd prefer it if the HUD had been moved up slightly, because I really cannot see it. But then again, I have pulled my monitor a little bit closer to my face. Because a comment that keeps getting made, well I say keeps getting made, it's been made quite literally twice, is my field of view is weird. I don't think it is. Right, now we've got some heat into the tyres, I've got oodles of grip. I might move the monitor back so I can see something, see a bit more of the screen when I do the next car, which will be one of the LMP2s. But from what I can see of the steering wheel, it looks great. The lighting is fantastic. I've locked my frame rate to 60. And it's smooth. Brake for stow again. And in this next lap, you will see the new Delta Best. Here it comes. There we go. You can see it at the top, just underneath my mirror there. I'll miss that apex entirely. feathering the throttle and the brake just to get some turn in. I'm also driving in shoes for the first time in a while. Wearing my old AstroTurf football boots. Because I'm not playing football anymore. I can just about see outside of the out the window. 1.5 seconds up. Problem is though, I've been driving around with Delta Best yesterday in some V8 supercars around Adelaide. And the trap I keep falling into is I've got to make it blue. So every lap I try and push more and more and more and more. And then I can't push anymore and I'm off. And it gets very frustrating. But no, this car feels absolutely brilliant. Great way to get involved in, or get introduced to the world of prototypes. And I wish that someone would move that timing line back to where it should be. But, you know. We'll just pull over here, turn that off, go to the outside. And this is the LMP3 car. Looks even better on the track, to be honest. And turn the lights on and off. So I'm going to jump into an LMP2 now. I'm going to set the track to nighttime, and we'll see what it's like to drive at night around Silverstone. So, stay tuned. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here we are in the LMP2. This is the Orica 05, which is one of the new cars for this mod. I'm going to show you what we've got in here with the rest of the stuff. Pretty much the same stuff we had in the LMP3. Put it on the soft tyres, brake duct blanking, handbrake pressure, all good stuff. So, let's go out for a bit of a spin. As you can see, hay fever's kicking in. It's night time, so I'm going to pop my headlights on. Put the hood back on. Actually, let me just... now I can see it. Good. Right. I can just see the hood now. I hope they do offer an option soon to be able to move that up. But this car already feeling a lot quicker. And we've got engine boost on this one, so 1 through to 4. Someone narrowed the track. That's what it feels like. We've got quite a long... It's like the person that designed the bonnet stopped at one point and the guy that was designing the wings carried on. Bloody hell, this thing is quick. Oops. How are you supposed to see anything in these? Whoa. Powered by a Nissan engine, this thing. Glorious Nippon steel. It's that placebo effect of the track feeling smaller. Don't take your hands off the wheel, you idiot. The track feeling smaller at night time. This is especially true at Bathurst. Okay, let's put it onto mix 3 then for a timed lap. But the car just turns. tyres have warmed up sufficiently. Is it easier to drive? I wouldn't say so. I think it's probably about the same as the LMP3, to be honest. You just got to get over the fact that you've got the two wheel fairings, I guess if that's what you want to call them, obscuring your view. It's a very tight window to look out of. But it's got plenty of grip on default setup, and we've only just taken a percentage out of our front tyres. But then again, this is endurance racing, you've got to try and go as long as you possibly can. Back end wants to go up a little bit, run wide. Just trying to find the limits of the car. Yeah, some setup work may be required. Default gearing's a bit better in this car though, I think. But you can just turn it and you're in. It's got a bit more grip coming through that final corner, which you'd probably expect. See the Delta best at the top. Oh, I overshot my braking marker. Oh, bloody hell. Turn the engine up. It's on max now. Can't adjust the engine mix. Look how much time we're making up on the straights now. Tyres aren't overheating, which is good. Ah, I've done it again. Lap won't count. Oh, where's the speed come from? Alright, we'll do one more lap then. Oh god, I can't see a thing. Ah. Done it again. Just can't get used to this. Just eating into my previous personal best. Much better. Still went a bit wide, but much better. There we go. 2.85 litres a lap of fuel. Came to an almost stop there. We've taken 2 and a bit seconds, 2.5 maybe, out of our previous best. Back into neutral, slam on the brakes, turn the hood off, and then we can see the glorious lights on the side of the car. That looks absolutely fantastic. Let's come around the side of the car, turn the lights off. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And around the back, see the brake lights. That looks fantastic, and that was an absolute joy to drive in my bright orange Orica. So, next up, it is the turn of the GTs, which I will do during the day, and then we'll throw in some extra bits and pieces as well. So, once again, stay tuned, and let's get into a GT3. So, for the GTs, I have picked the Corvette, as I've never actually driven the Corvette, either the official Corvette or any Corvette for that matter. So, same weather, daytime this time, and we'll just quickly look at what we get for the setups. Again, all the gearage, everything's pretty much the same, although I do know for a fact that we do get 3 levels of boostage here. I'm just going to leave it on boost 2, and we've got a lovely rear view camera as well. So, and the all the data on the screen's a bit more visible. Ooh. Glorious V8 power. I am liking the new HUD, it has to be said. Now, don't expect this thing to be rapid. Oh, actually, the Corvette handles brilliantly. I've only gone through like 3 corners, but fantastic. Bit of ambient noise as well. Get a drift on. This is why I don't recommend jumping from car to car. Fourth gear for cops. Oh god, it's like being in a 60s F1 car. Could probably do with turning the tyre pressures up a bit. The tyres are losing heat quite a bit. Gearing's not too bad. Probably just got to get used to the braking. Got to get used to the fact that I can't throw it into corners in the same way I was in the LMPs. No LMP ones in this mod, it has to be said. Enduracers have categorically stated that that's not going to happen. So if you do want LMP ones, you have to get the URD mod and use that. But you've still got enough cars to have an immersive and authentic multi-class racing structure. Probably to turn the traction control up. I would have liked to have seen more GTs as well. Maybe a McLaren or a Mercedes. So you've got the Apex mod, that's got the 650 and the AMG. I would have liked to have seen those cars in this as well. But I don't know what the performance is like if you were to put the Enduracers and the Apex mod together. Oh, Christ. Ah, cut track. So this car definitely needs a setup. Whee! But you've got more than enough information on your screen. I know what position I'm in, I know how many laps I've done, I know what my best lap is, I know what my last lap is, I know which gear I'm in, I know how fast I'm going. It's all pretty good. Right, let's try and do this without messing it all up. You can abuse the sausage curbs in a GT. Get on the brakes. Flat out through there. So it's got plenty of grip. It has to be said that these aren't GT3s, these are GTEs. Now, if you want to know the difference between the GT3 and the GTE, a GTE has more downforce, and a GT3 has more horsepower. That's pretty much it. Force feedback, I think, is a little bit light in these. But all that said, you know, you can always turn it up in my case, a Thrustmaster Profiler, or in the control section of rFactor. But I'm having oodles of fun in this thing. I'm expecting this to be like a 210 maybe. Yeah, it's going to be way slower than... So the LMP3 I did a 159. LMP2 I did a 152. This is going to be well over 2 minutes. So you can see the difference in class. I'll have to do a full multi-class race in these things. I've done multi-class racing before on this channel. I'll leave a link at the end to one of those multi-class races. But the cars handle so much better than they did before. That was a 2-minute 4. Okay, so not so bad. We'll do one more lap. GT3s are so easy to drive. Traction control, anti-lock brakes. That's probably why you find so many gentleman racers in GT3s. The Tracy Crones of the world. Crank the boost up. I don't have a fuel. Fuel would be nice, but then again, I've got that on the hood. How much fuel am I burning through? 2.6 litres a lap. Ah. Getting a lot of time on the braking there. What was that? 283. Take that. I'll pull it up and we can now see. Oops. Turn that off. There we go. Look at that. That looks fantastic, doesn't it? Wow. So, we've tested all the cars. And I said that there was some extra graphical bits added. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out. I'm going to go back into an LMP2. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so we're back at Silverstone in an LMP2. We're in the Patron LMP2 that we looked at in showroom view. And as you can see, it's raining. So I'm going to pluck first gear. We're on wet tyres. I'm just going to go rolling out into the pit lane. And now, as you can see, there are raindrops all over the windscreen of the car. Which is pretty damn cool. And each of these raindrops behaves independently. None of this is scripted. This is all independent raindrops. So each one is unique. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to go for a bit of a drive. And it all looks really, really cool. And you can see it on the outside of the car as well. However, as you can probably guess, after a while, you're not going to be able to see anything. This is where this feature comes in. Now, when I was driving the V8 Supercars the other day, you wouldn't have seen this because that hasn't been updated, but this has. So when I think I can't see anything, I press a button on my steering wheel. Ah, that's better. Haha, now I can see where I'm going. So now we're driving an LMP2 while it's raining. It's pretty awesome, this. And if I'm caught in the spray of a guy in front, I just make it go a bit faster. And turn it off again if I need to. Should turn it back on. That looks phenomenal. And we've got the spray coming off the back of the car as well. I'll pull over in a second. Oh, don't want that. Put the headlights on. And you can see the track's getting a little shiny. Track getting progressively wetter. We've still got enough grip, to be honest. Let's turn the engine up. Probably not going to go as fast as I was when the track was dry. What did I do in this car? It was a 152, wasn't it? Okay, yeah, now the car's starting to understeer a bit. Get my drift on the outside of the corner. Oops. It's a bit easier to see in this car than it was in the other one, to be honest. Yeah, I can feel the understeer. lock up. And we've done a 2-minute. Not bad. Let's pull up. Anymore. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. Cool. But you can see the rain all on the bodywork, and it just looks great. It looks like rFactor 2 has come into the 21st century finally. So, this has been the Enduracers mod for rFactor 2, as well as a quick demonstration of the rain effects and the new head-up display, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more bits and pieces like mod reviews, racing, and all things sim racing, and the real world of motorsport, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. I cover virtually anything to do with cars here on this channel, but it's mainly sim racing. So, thank you very much for watching. I've been Adam Ord. Have a great day wherever you live in the world, and I'll see you all again very soon for another video. Goodbye.